Hello, good evening, once again from the Philippines. My goodness, today's been filled with drama and I suppose frustration also. A few Americans have taken the time to make contact with me and ask for my advice. Well, that's all I can really give, is just advice. I can be a voice on the wall, that's all. Because at the end of the day, it's always down to the individual. I can maybe, without identifying the person, he lives probably four hours away from Dumaguete, near General something or other, down south from where I am. He's been out here for quite a few months now, and as a result has rekindled his marriage with his Filipina lady, and therefore he's running across a number of issues that are affecting his way of thinking. He's really I would really describe him maybe as a fairly fragile individual. And the problem with being that way is that one doesn't always have the equipment required to deal with issues that do occasionally pop up. He's legally married to a Filipina, which makes things a lot more difficult once you get married, because you're in boots and all at that point. And the law does change somewhat for a girlfriend as opposed to maybe somebody who he's engaged to actually someone who's married. He's at the point where he's almost ready to catch a plane back to the US. And my advice to him is, before you do something like that, be very, very sure that you haven't burnt all of your bridges, and that you are sure that that's what the outcome will be best to be done. And I say that in his particular case because in his case he's living in a home that is owned by the family, on his own with his wife and her daughter of 11 years. And likewise, he's somewhat prisoner up there in the sticks, so to speak, with nobody else he can really call upon for any moral or spiritual assistance. And that's the thing that I would suggest to people. Putting yourself up in the bush somewhere, away from everybody, may well seem an ideal situation for a young married couple. But of course, if you then plant yourself in the middle of her family and expect to have a smooth run at it, I think you're kidding yourself. And I think your wife is maybe mistreating you a little bit by wanting to be around her family all the time, but also having them in her ear all the time. So if they feel that he's being a bit stingy, or he's not doing this and not doing that, they're there to support her issues that she has with her husband. And as we all know, with Lady Diana, 3 in the family is okay with a daughter, but 3 is 2 wives and a husband, or 1 husband and 2 wives. It doesn't really work very well unless you're of a particular religious belief. And therefore, my heart does go out to the guy, but really it is up to him. I've given him advice as to how to maybe step back from it, how to try and look at different approaches. But to the point where now their family have decided to disconnect the internet, which he was using to top up his income by about $600 American every week. Sorry, not the $600, but he was doing 1 day a week online, doing something with IT. And they've now cut that off, so he's even more desperate to sort out his mess. And he really does have a situation where if he doesn't say how it is and get that point through to the family as well as the wife. He may well be on his bike and they won't have anything to deal with. His moral feelings are that he feels that he should be supporting the mother-in-law by about 10,000 pesos a month, which when you're surviving on just over 1,000 American dollars, 55,000 a month, that's a fair old slice, and you can guarantee it's not just going to the mother-in-law, it's going to other individuals, such as family members who return from Manila and expect him to be the local brew house, the one that supplies the Red Horse and all the other things that are pleasant in the evening. But it's a memory, and it's a reminder really that things can go horribly wrong here. And unless you do have maybe not plan B set up, but in the mindset, if you're not in the mindset to escape the trauma that you've got yourself into, then really you're just going to dive into a deeper hole, and it's going to be really, really hard to salvage not only your life with your wife and maybe a child, but also to salvage your own sanity. You do need that little bit of money behind you so that you can decide to move into an apartment, maybe somewhere close but away from the family, and to try and rekindle what you had with your wife. But if you don't have sufficient to do that, and you are relying on their generosity to stay there, and in turn pay their power bill, their water bill and everything else, then really you're just being used as I dare say, a money source, or what is commonly called an ATM. So it's just my thought for the evening. Nothing spectacular, but it's a rub-off of the many hours I've spent today when I could have been doing something else. But I felt I was needed by, yes, an American in trouble. So if you like this video or you feel it's of some help, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Good evening. Bye now.